Fear Street Part 2, 1978, was a movie I was particularly looking forward to. Taking us to Camp Nightwing, I was expecting some kind of Friday the 13th action. And you do get an increase in the bloodlust and the deaths, and they are horrific and, yeah, very quick to the point as well. I really did like the idea of this whole movie, taking us back to the late 70s, having us in a camp setting. It's a movie I enjoy, that kind of aesthetic, and we get to meet our two main characters in this story. We get Ziggy and we get Cindy, two sisters who seem to be opposite ends of a spectrum. Ziggy doesn't care about, towing the line, saying the right thing. She's a little bit out there. She's headstrong and not going to take any crap from anybody. Cindy's become a little bit more straight-laced. She wants to toe the line for everybody, be the good girl and live a sort of chastain life almost. And as we jump into Fear Street, we can tell that things are going to go awry as one of the characters starts to hear voices, ultimately picking up an axe and starting to decimate the rest of the cast. This one takes a little while in getting going, but I'm happy with that. Like I said, I like camp stories, movies set within these summer camps, and I was happy to see a lot of the things happen. People getting pranks played on them, getting retribution for them, seeing the dynamics of all the different kind of factions that are here was really kind of fun, and getting a little bit of story about Sarah Fear thrown into it. A little bit more of the history of this woman was particularly great. I enjoyed that. I thought the characters of Cindy and Ziggy were particularly really well realised, and characters that I kind of enjoyed, as they both had their different kinds of adventures throughout this story. And I thought the killer was wonderful. I thought he was really kind of vicious, almost again like a shark, just moving through the water. Anything he's seen, he attacked, and there are moments where he is just axe to the face, relentless with some of the victims, and age doesn't matter either. There is a couple of scenes where young kids get taken out abruptly and violently, and it's nice to see. Not in a nice to see manner, but the fact to see that nobody's safe really put a lot of threat into this one. You get the grander story of Fear herself. You get this wonderfully obscure moment under the ground where they discover this beating. At first I thought it was a heart, but now I'm starting to think it's more of a tumour on the land of Sarah Fear, and her evil has kind of like taken over just under Camp Nightwing and causing a lot of the grief that is happening in the world, in Shadyville and that around about. But it was a movie that wasn't as captivating as the first Fear Street. It's still good. It still has moments of other horror movies that it pulls out. Unlike Friday the 13th, which I thought it was going to riff on a lot, it actually takes quite a few scenes from The Shining, particularly the moments where Jack Nicholson is running about with an axe like a madman, chopping through doors and things like that. It has multiple scenes that feel very akin to that. It has moments of blood and horror that I found truly shocking. There's a scene at the end where girls are attacked, and it is unrelenting. The camera doesn't flinch, doesn't look away, doesn't avoid the pain and trauma and the blood that is happening, and it feels very disgusting and real and horrifying at the same time. But, and this is the main kind of problem I have with these movies so far, is the interconnectivity. Now, some people are going to love it. I'm curious about it. If it sticks the landing in the third one, it will be a great trilogy. But it's not movies that you're going to pick up and just watch. I'm just going to watch part two. It starts off with our characters from the first one meeting an older one of the Berman girls, and then at the end of it, it kind of leads on to our next story, which is going to be 1966. And it's that interconnectivity that just makes me feel like I'm watching a series rather than an individual movie. I'm waiting on the next part, which, yeah, could be great, but like I said, you don't have that individuality of each movie. I thought Shadyside was an absolute standout in 1978. I thought her as Ziggy was a wonderful performance. I thought she was kind of headstrong, boorish. Even though she was getting bullied, she didn't go timid. She went angry and vengeful, which I really kind of liked. And I loved a lot of the relationships, especially seeing younger versions of some characters that we had seen in the 1994 movie. And at the end of this one, you get a little trailer for 1966, and it looks as if they're reusing a lot of the actors, which I'm a big fan of that kind of thing back in the olden days, to retell this tale. So we'll see how it sticks the landing in part 3. This was another good movie that I really enjoyed, and I am excited to move on to the last part. I'd love to know what you thought of Fear Street 1978. Let me know in the comment box below, and I'll see you next time in Man v Film.